at Humanist Report, you wrongly stated as fact that I dislike trans people. This is defamation of character, and I plan to take legal action. If I were you, I'd gather solid evidence of my dislike for trans to present to a judge.
Exhibit A.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, there's so much to say about this. For one, no one who's actually spoken to a lawyer announces their lawsuit on Twitter. So obviously Kim Iversen is bluffing here. She's obviously not actually going to probably sue Mike. She would not win that lawsuit. And the reason why is because what Mike did is not defamation. Now, you can have whatever opinion you want about Mike Figueredo. You can think that, you know, anything you want. You can hate the guy. You can think he's wrong. You can think he's unfair. You can think he's vicious. You can think he's hyperbolic. You can think that he went too far. Any of those are valid opinions to have. That's totally fine to think that. I'm not here to tell you, you know, what to think about Mike or his segment. You can watch it and decide whatever you want. But frankly, it is under no definition defamation. It is an opinion. It is an opinion about Kim Iversen based directly on statements that she made that Mike reacted to. Calling someone a bigot is a matter of opinion. Now, if Mike had said Kim Iversen is selling child pornography or Kim Iversen is a sex trafficker, now that would be defamation, and she could actually have a case there. Now, even real defamation is notoriously difficult to prove, but at least she would have a case there. Because again, that would actually be accusing her of something genuinely criminal, of which there is no evidence to back up, and that could genuinely hurt her career and hurt her character. But Mike is an opinion commentator, and he's never once stated that everything on his show is fact. He's never once stated that every opinion he has is directly based in fact. That is the nature of being an opinion commentator. And guess what? I have some insight into this matter because I am an opinion commentator, and an opinion commentator, by the way, that likes to throw around insults quite a bit. I mean, I'm sure you guys know, but Zach and I have attacked the character of many of the people we've talked about on this show. I mean, it's just part of the job. When you're a shit talker, when you're a muckraker, of course you're going to make attacks on people's character. And, you know, sometimes those attacks aren't always going to be backed up with direct evidence or facts. Sometimes it really is just a matter of opinion. And guess what? We have a First Amendment. We live in goddamn America. We're allowed to say what we want about people's character. We're allowed to state our opinions about other people's character, even if other people think it's hyperbolic or unfair or whatever. And again, I can tell you this not just because I dole out this criticism, but also because I receive it. Every day when Zach and I look at our YouTube comments or our Twitter mentions, we see all kinds of deranged people throwing all sorts of slanderous nonsense our way, you know, saying all sorts of crazy stuff about us. Do you think that I fucking threaten those people, my critics, with lawsuits? Are you fucking kidding me? No, I take it on the chin and move on, because that's part of being a fucking commentator. That's part of being a, you know, public figure. That's part of being someone that, you know, speaks their mind on the internet, is that you're going to have to hear other people speak their mind about you. And to threaten legal action on your critics is just about the most thin-skinned, snowflake-ass bullshit that I could possibly imagine, especially if you remember the fact that this whole situation arose from Kim Iversen supposedly defending the free speech of Jordan Peterson and Dave Rubin for dead-naming Elliot Page and for being disgustingly transphobic on Twitter. She, you know, made that the hill she wanted to die on and said, you know, Jordan Peterson has the right to be offensive. Jordan Peterson has the right to his opinion, no matter how disgusting and offensive you think it is. This was the hill she decided to die on. And by the way, frankly, I agree. I think that people should be allowed to say what they want on Twitter. I think should be able to be as vile as you want on Twitter. That's my personal opinion. I'm a free speech absolutist, but I'm just saying, I actually am principled in this regard. I actually support free speech, and that includes Mike's Figueredo's free speech. That includes Mike's free speech to say whatever the hell he wants about the character of Kim Iversen. And again, that includes whether or not you think it's fair or not, whether he's being hyperbolic or not, whether he's being mean. All of these things are protected under the First Amendment, and if anyone actually has to have that explained to them, then you don't actually care about free speech. You don't give a single fuck about it.
Yeah, I have so much to say about this. One, yeah, we have to talk about how patently absurd it is and how butthurt she must have been to actually tweet this, because as Gavin pointed out, like, probably not going to go through with this, right? Like probably not. But let's just say for argument's sake for a second that let's just say that she tried to, right? Because she has absolutely no ground to stand on, right? As we were talking about earlier, it is, even if you have rock solid evidence for defamation, it is notoriously hard to get that shit prosecuted. Jesse Ventura, for example, went through a long fucking winding legal battle with Chris Kyle, and then Chris Kyle died, and it was with his estate. And he won at first because he did have very clear evidence that he had been defamed, and that it had been in a book in print that had profited Chris Kyle and his family and all this money, etc. And then it was overturned because it's so fucking hard in appeals. It was overturned because it's so hard, and honestly, with good reason. It's really hard to fucking prove defamation. In the past, when you have been able to, right? Here's a couple of things that you need. Right. And occasionally I'll get on the Gawker Hill. Guys, I know it was a smut publication, but it actually has some journalistic and free press ramifications to it, which is why I think it's an important story. So Gawker published these pictures of Hulk Hogan, right? And the fact that they were photographs is really critical because photographs are different than just stating your opinion about somebody by a lot, especially legally, right? But they had like fucking compromising pictures, let's put it that way, of like nude Hulk Hogan, and they published them. And then it was a ginormous legal battle that Hulk Hogan would not, even Hulk Hogan, a man who's a millionaire in his own right, would not have been able to sustain with all of the access to lawyers and money that he had. So he had to have Peter Thiel come in, and Peter Thiel had a personal vendetta against Gawker because Gawker had published that he was a closeted gay man, and he couldn't fucking sue them for that. Guys, because that's how it works in this country because of our First Amendment. Peter Thiel could not sue them on those grounds and win, but he could sue them because of the pictures. So he takes care of Hulk Hogan's entire legal team, and they essentially ran Gawker out of business. They've since come back, but it's a completely new team and everything. That's the extent. So even a billionaire like Peter Thiel, when a publication published that he was, that they suspected, or that he was, I don't remember the exact wording, that he was gay, they basically, outed him, which I don't think you should do. But, from a legal standpoint, it was, not something that he could press charges for. Right. And so it wasn't something that he could sue them for, which is why he waited until he had the opportunity with Hulk Hogan to destroy them. But even in a case like that, where they published something that he would argue is untrue, that he's not a gay man, he had no case. And this was an actual, literal publication, right? It wasn't just somebody on YouTube giving their opinion. So setting all of that aside, she has absolutely zero ground to stand on. So this is just embarrassing as all hell for you to come out here and try and intimidate another commentator because they've criticized you after you've died on the Hill for free speech time and time again, after you've talked about how the left is so triggered and so full of snowflakes and how it's only the right wing that actually cares about fucking censorship anymore, right? No, somebody says one thing that's a total fucking opinion. Guess what, Kim Iversen? You're a TERF. Start fucking writing up legal battles. Send them over to the Vanguard. Let's go to fucking court. I guarantee you will never have to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never gonna fucking happen. You can't just sue all of your critics. You know who fucking tries to do that shit? Donald Trump. It's what people with a lot of money and a narcissism complex do. As Gavin pointed out, we get plenty of fucking hate, right? And we don't get paid fucking shit from Shinola compared to what Kim Iversen makes, right? But people have every right to say whatever the fuck they think about me and Gavin. If you think we're two fucking shithead wannabe MSNBC hosts, you have every right to leave a comment that says, I can't believe I ever once took you guys seriously. You're fucking sellouts. I fucking hate you. Okay. That's your opinion. You have every right to it. I'll live on with my own life here in Kansas City, and I will keep doing my show, and you will keep existing, not fucking commenting or hate watching or whatever you want to do. That's just part of the game. That is part of this industry. It's what you sign up for. It is part of the give and take. You get so much when you just have to be a commentator for a living. You don't have to break your back mining coal. You don't have to fix fucking toilets. You don't have to, wipe people's ass at a nursing home. No, you sit on your fucking sofa or your chair and you talk shit. And guess what? People can talk shit back to you. I'm sorry. Breaks my fucking heart.
Exactly. And thank you, by the way, David, for that. Yeah, totally hypocritical of her. And some people are saying like, oh, well, Mike I don't like Mike, so I don't care about this. Well, do you know what having a goddamn principle means? Do you know what having principles fucking means? It means that regardless of who's in question, you stand by your actual values, in this case, the protection of the First Amendment, and defend people on that principle. Again, regardless of what you think of them. And if this had happened the other way, if Mike Figueredo came out of here and said, I'm going to sue Kim Iversen because she called me stupid or insane or bigoted or whatever, then I would also say, Mike, what the fuck are you doing? This is not only crazy and makes you look like a snowflake, but it also goes against every, principle of First Amendment free speech protections that I have. This is absolutely insane. Do you realize the precedent this would set? And as you said, Zach, who's going to benefit most from the defamation and libel laws being opened up like this? Were Kim Iversen actually to be able to successfully sue her critics for calling her bigoted, which, by the way, she will not be able to do. But if she was able to, and if she were to open up that precedent and make it easier to sue people for libel, slander, and defamation, you know who that would help? That would help only rich people in going after their critics. Poor people on Twitter, online, people that offend them, people that, hurt their feelings. Who do you think has the money to sue? It's rich people. It's not fucking poor people. Me and Zach don't have the money to sue anyone. You think we can sue people in our comments that are slandering us? You think we can sue people on Twitter that are saying mean things about us? Fuck no. It's only rich, entitled pieces of shit like Kim Iversen who will actually have the ability to use this legal authority. And again, in order to silence her critics. This is literally about silencing her critics. She's not engaging with the substance. She's literally just trying to intimidate him and force him to delete a video by threatening to sue him, which again, she's not actually going to do because she knows it has no chance of actually working. I'll go back to my original tweet here. I said, pro free speech Kim Iversen threatening to sue her critics. Holy shit, what a snowflake. And down here, actually, I don't know where it is, but someone pointed out that this, clearly does not meet the actual legal definition of defamation. Another person that pointed this out is, of course, Mike himself, who I can pull up his response. Mike obviously responded to this threat last night on Twitter. He says, this is not what defamation is. You cannot prove malicious intent. You're a public figure. I'm legally allowed to criticize you. People do the same to me. Also, I thought you were a free speech warrior, but you want to use your wealth to shut me up. Grow up. But he's 100% right. It's not defamation. And again, Mike is just doing his job as an opinion commentator by giving his opinion. There's no proof that he was trying to destroy Kim Iversen's career. There's no proof that he was trying to harm her reputation in a long-term way. He was literally giving his opinion. And again, you can disagree with his opinion. You can think it's hyperbolic or unfair or mean. That's totally fine. But again, he was just giving his opinion.
Yeah, 100%. Look, and it's crazy to me. Like, I thought we were all principled free speech people here, right? Like the Vanguard has always supported free speech, and much of our audience has. And I think much of the people who are even simping for Kim Iversen have been hardcore in the free speech zone. Like that means you have to support free speech for people you don't like. And it's funny because that's we always talk about this. How many times have we talked about how, if you censor the Donald, then they're going to censor r/Chapo Trap House. Once they take down Alex Jones, they're going to take down, this. It's like, okay. And, Alex Jones in one unique instance did meet the legal definition of defaming these people. And actually it was not technically defamation. I think that he was convicted of. It was libel or something along those lines. And it took 10 fucking years for that to come to a head, guys. That's how long. And he lied explicitly about something that was verifiably proven to have occurred, and it caused damages to those families, and they were able to prove that in a court of law. That's remarkably different than if Alex Jones had just come out and said like, wow, all those all those Sandy Hook family members are stupid or dumb or fucking, I don't know, like crazy or whatever. Like he's allowed to say all of that shit, right? What he's not allowed to do is like specifically lie about news instances that occurred while he is presenting himself as a fucking fact-giving, and even then it was remarkably hard to fucking prosecute because you have a lot of leeway, especially on the internet, with what you're allowed to fucking say. That's just the way it was designed. And it was actually set up that way like decades ago to allow for internet companies to grow. So you could easily get out of this kind of a lawsuit, even if he did break the law, which he didn't. He could easily get out of this lawsuit just by saying like, oh, I was under the umbrella of satirization. I host a YouTube show, and the fucking courts would throw it out. There's absolutely no way that there's no way that she could win that lawsuit, which is why it's just hilarious that she decided to throw a tantrum on Twitter and embarrass herself like that.
Yeah, exactly. And also, again, like you said, Zach, this is someone that claims to care about free speech. Literally 2 days ago, she posted this. Jordan Peterson has an opinion, and it should be allowed no matter how much you don't like it or how offensive you think it is. yeah, clearly you're a very principled person, Kim, because you totally upheld that same standard when it came to your critics, right? Obviously. So just an obvious charlatan here, someone that doesn't actually give a single fuck about free speech. This is someone that's a pearl clutching, censorious authoritarian that wants to use her wealth to threaten smaller content creators from criticizing her and try to intimidate them out of speaking their opinions, which again is all of our jobs. We spend a lot of our time talking shit on other people. A lot of people spend their time talking shit on us. That is how this goes. And, even if someone wants to make a video saying patently untrue things about me, saying that I'm a homophobe or a racist or something, which I obviously am not. Guess what? I would have to live with that. I would have to fucking take it. Go ahead, make a video right now. Call me a racist piece of shit. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. I might not like it. It might grind my gears because, clearly that's incorrect. But guess what? There's not a goddamn thing I can do about it. And that is exactly how it should be. Under the First Amendment, you have the right to express your opinion about someone else's character. Again, if you're alleging criminal action, if you're saying, Kim Iversen killed my sister or something, then maybe you would have a case for a lawsuit. But saying someone's bigoted or that someone hates trans people, unfortunately, that's just not defamation. So, you can cry all you want. You can get as triggered as you want. But unfortunately, it ain't defamation, and you're not going to win a lawsuit over that. And the other funny thing about this, by the way, that has to be pointed out is that, this video that Mike put out, I think it had 11,000 views last night. 11,000 views. That's like a fraction of the amount of views that, an average Kim Iversen radar gets. However, then she goes out, puts this tweet out, what's up, raises this big ruckus. Everyone's talking about it on Twitter. I wonder how many more people watch the video as a result. I wonder how many more people subscribe to Mike's channel as a result. Bit of a Streisand effect going on here, don't you think, Zach?
Yeah, of course. And this is what always happens. And it's funny because this backfired like a motherfucker for Kim Iversen as far on multiple fronts. One, it just made her look bad and embarrassed her publicly. But two, yeah, of course, it drew way more attention to that. And I honestly, I think that's a net L for her. Also, if you draw attention to the commentary that she's been giving, I think it's going to be clear as day to most people that you just don't like trans people. Kim, I'm sorry. You need to do some inward introspection about why an ocean of people are being like, hey, your commentary makes it seem like you really have some disdain for this community. And I don't
Careful, bro.
About, like,
we can't handle a lawsuit, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, like you need to do some serious introspection about why everybody would be saying this to you, right? If I was getting an ocean of fucking mail about why like the trans community felt like really unhappy by my commentary, I would be like, holy shit, I fucked up. I need to look at this. I need to think about what I did and figure out what the fuck is going on, because I thought I would have obviously thought that I was, making a correct argument. But instead, she goes on and she's like, you know what? I think I'm going to she goes full Karen, bro. That you put it in the tweet. She goes full Karen. I want to talk to your manager. You don't have a manager. Our manager is the U.S. legal system now. Like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me, bro?
Absolutely. But yeah, this is just unhinged, guys. Truly unhinged. I mean, obviously, I've always had significant disagreements with Kim Iversen. I think she's a bit of a loon, to be honest. But I honestly never expected her to become this much of like just a blatant hypocrite, one, but also authoritarian, right? Like, not only are you exposing yourself as someone that's deeply unserious and that doesn't give a single fuck about free speech or the First Amendment, but you're also, again, just proving yourself to be massively hypocritical as someone who claims to care so much about free speech, and also just exposing yourself as a massive snowflake that can't take criticism from, again, a commentator that had like a video with 12,000 views. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Like, get out of this industry, go work somewhere else if you can't handle criticism. But if you're going to be a public commentator that gives your opinion, and by the way, gets paid handsomely by billionaire funded outlets to do so, then get fucking used to it, man. You're going to have to deal with criticism. You're going to have to take it. And here's some advice. Just don't even watch it. Don't even watch it. Why are you sitting here fucking watching videos about yourself, Kim? What kind of fucking loser are you? Who sits there watching videos of critics, tear you apart? You think I sit here watching all the videos about the Vanguard and what a bunch of shit libs we are? Fuck no. Get a life.
I actually watch every single one of those videos and I really get off on it, guys. So please keep making them. But yeah, I mean, and a couple of people in the chat were asking, didn't we support the Jordan Peterson ban. Neither of us supported the Jordan Peterson ban. Fuck that. No, I think that Jordan Peterson is a piece of shit, and I don't like him at all. And I think that his opinion is vile, and I will say that as much as I want, as loud as I want. But I also am principled again in saying that as much as I fucking detest this man and think that he's all of his viewpoints almost are problematic, and that I would debate to a fucking exhaustive degree. Of course, he has every single right to say whatever the fuck he wants to in what I view to be the public square. That is the whole point of what we were just trying to say, guys. Did you get that whole fucking message where we were all like, it doesn't matter that, yes, we like Mike and he's been on our show and we're friends. I don't fucking care. That's why I don't care that I fucking hate Jordan Peterson, but I didn't want him banned from Twitter. I didn't want Donald Trump banned from Twitter. I didn't want any of these people banned from Twitter. You have to debate people in a public square. We are a free speech fucking channel. No, I can't fucking threaten violence or dox somebody. But that's about it. And both of those things you could fucking legally take to court, and Gavin and I would support that. But defamation for somebody's opinion about you is so fucking far removed from that. And you know what? Even if it's a horrible dog shit, toxic opinion, like basically every bit of the drivel that comes out of Jordan Peterson's mouth, he has every right to spew it on Twitter. We 100% are consistent about that. And that's what you guys don't fucking understand, apparently, is it's like, I don't care about my relationship with Kim Iversen, which is non-existent. And I don't care about my relationship with Mike Figueredo. I don't care about my relationship with Jordan Peterson, which is, again, non-existent. It is about these principled positions that we are supposed to take here. It's about, yes, I believe people have the right to speak their fucking mind, even if I disagree with it. Full stop. Okay. And yeah, I will tell you that I think you're a piece of shit or that you're a fucking bigot or any of those things. I'm allowed to do that, just like you're allowed to say all of that toxic shit that I don't like.
Right. And again, if for some crazy reason you've done the mental gymnastics and you're actually taking Kim's side on this, just think about the ramifications that this would have. Because you might not like Mike. You might think Mike's a piece of shit. You might have thought that his criticism was unfair, and that's your right. But if this precedent were to be set, think about every other commentator. Mike's actually not as aggressive as other commentators. He's actually one of the nicer YouTubers in this space. Think about the ramifications this would have on every other single commentator that you probably like and enjoy listening to, that also engages on personal attacks, that also likes to get riled up and aggressive and hyperbolic, just like Zach and I do. Because again, that's part of the show. Again, you can hate Mike, you can think he's a piece of shit, or you can love Mike and think he's a great guy. Either way, it really, truly does not change the facts of the case. And again, the very terrifying precedent this would set for First Amendment. Think about comedy, too. Think about comedy. So much of good comedy is roasting the shit out of people and, yes, attacking their character. Again, do you want a bunch of thin-skinned millionaires and billionaires to have the ability to go after all their critics, to threaten them and to silence them with legal action? Is that really what you advocate for? Because if you do, you are no friend of the First Amendment. You are no free speech warrior.